Welcome to week 4. This is the topic this week, national traumas. I'm sure you've already started. Traumas can be very personal, such as a personal illness that someone goes through, a catastrophic kind of illness, or the death of a loved one, or it can be regional, within family groups, national, worldwide. If someone has experienced a trauma, they may come out of it with PTSD and have to deal with it for the rest of their lives, or they may come out of it relatively unscathed. It depends on how they process what has happened. And people are different, which would be a whole study in and of itself. Why does one person come out okay and another not okay? Some kinds of traumas are experienced by nations, as I just said, and that's what these readings are about this week. Traumas of the past aren't necessarily buried in the past. They can come back to haunt, they can come alive, especially when they are repressed. So we looked at return of the repressed last week, when people refuse to acknowledge what has happened. They can live internalized in people, especially when it's one group that suffered from something and another group is continuing to say it never happened. So you're examining some of these national traumas this week. And you may be surprised to learn that trauma is a topic, a whole genre of literature. It's called trauma literature. This literature can run the gamut of traumas to be experienced in the world. Every kind of trauma that there is. When I was doing my PhD work, one of my areas was trauma literature, and the person guiding me in that gave me 25 novels to read on trauma, things that happened. Vietnam War was one topic, World War II was another, and then there were personal traumas, children who had suffered abuse, for example. Hard things to come out of in many cases. So I'm sure you're finding some of this, the literature, the pictures, especially the lynching, and that very difficult to wade through, but eye-opening and rewarding in its own way, because then you know. Ida B. Wells, there was a reading that was apparently taken off your list. I don't know why. Maybe it was difficult. It was difficult. It is difficult to get through. The Red, now it popped out of my head. I'm sorry, but you'll see it there. And I also gave you a link to her text. I've read the whole thing, and it is difficult to get through. It's all about lynching and has details, and some people didn't want to hear about it, but this was what was going on in the time period she was living in, and she wanted to be a part of the solution by making people aware and saying, this isn't right. And she had to, as I understand, have to run for her life to save her life during this time, because some people did not want to know about that. But with these readings, you know what happened. You have the opportunity to process what happened, and you also can be a part of making sure that these kinds of things, these events, don't continue to happen again and again and again in human history. So, have a great weekend. I look forward to reading your papers, and I will see you next week. Thank you.